Happy Sunday and welcome to another brand new episode of Tesla Sundays here on your most favorite quarantine YouTube channel. So without further ado, let's talk about what we will talk about today, because Tesla stock seems to be super cheap during these timings. And is it really advisable to buy now in the dip, or should we wait? This and many more topics here on today's episode, so let's roll. So let's go through our topics today very briefly. Slashing 75% of employees in Gigafactory 1, Nevada. We will talk about the red light AutoPilot feature. We will talk about 3,000 cars in China in the Gigafactory in Shanghai. Moreover, we will talk about the Tesla stock roller coaster. We will talk about the Volkswagen ID.3, an update on that. They have some software problems apparently. We will talk about Ford just got, well, degraded to junk. We will talk about Tesla ventilators, and obviously we will talk about the GM ventilators, and we will talk about the Model Y update. So let's roll. So to avoid the spread of the novel health situation that we have right now, it's important to keep as much closed as possible. And we heard just from the news that Tesla is leaving or slashing down employees, 75% of all people who are building engines or electric motors and batteries in the Nevada Gigafactory 1. And this came after we had last Sunday, and on Tesla Sundays, the news that Panasonic is withdrawing about 3,000 employees out of the battery production. This is, as you might know, a bottleneck anyway for Tesla, and I believe that's not a so positive news. However, if you are following me, you know that Tesla over the last couple of months had many negative news, and still we reached almost $1,000 per stock. So I'm a Tesla investor and dedicated to the company, and therefore all the news and all the updates here on Tesla Sundays every single Sunday. Make sure to like and subscribe if you like it so far, and let's move to the next topic. Okay, Elon Musk sometimes promise something and then deliver, but a little bit later. So he did something with the update for the AutoPilot. Apparently the AutoPilot should have the feature to stop at red lights automatically while cruising through cities. And this actually should be updated or upgraded end of last year. But obviously this was a little bit pushed. We got therefore the preview of the AutoPilot, the visualization, what the AutoPilot sees. However, we just saw a video on the internet with the working feature, and this seems that will be soon, very soon, pushed to all the AutoPilot feature owners. So while US is closing down, it's important what Shanghai is doing. Shanghai Tesla Gigafactory is apparently ramping up to 3,000 cars per week. This is incredible. I mean, this is a pensum that I remember was a challenge over the last year in the US until they ramped to 5,000, to 6,000, 7,000, and so on. So this is a great achievement, especially when you think before the close down of Shanghai, it was around 2,000. So we increased like more than 1,000 vehicles per week. So that's really growing fast. And obviously it's very good sign amid the turmoil in the US and the spread of the whole crisis. I really hope that they can reopen and everybody can reopen for business very soon. However, Donald Trump's 12th of April seems to be a very ambitious plan. Okay, let's talk about the Tesla stock for a second, because we had a quite very big roller coaster right here. You remember when you are at a roller coaster and you just at the top and then you look down and it's going down. This is what happened with Tesla stock until about the 18th of March with 354.55 was the temporary bottom, and then we went back up about from there like 45%. So I want to talk with you about buy the dip, because buy the dip is usually right if the market is generally up and you use these dips to load more stocks, but we are currently in a bear market that will go down and down and down. Most probably we don't know even the economic effects of all this, what is currently going outside, and therefore this bull rally is a bull rally in the bear market, and therefore make sure to not get trapped into that. I think this kind of dips we will see more in the next couple of months. Just for your imagination, this kind of dips and short rallies, we had 5 of them in 2008 before we went to the very low. So don't trust this 9-20% rallies, because they are very short term, and overall the market should go down in the next couple of days. And therefore I'm also I sold my shares. I'm waiting for a next low to go back in, and then be happy with just more Tesla stock. So we knew from previous episodes of Tesla Sundays that Volkswagen has some issues with the ID.3, the electric car for everyone. That should be the best competition to the Model 3, and Volkswagen seems to have more and more problems, and brand new news that came out implies that they still working on some software issues, and this is a very good sign for Tesla people, because Tesla is not only a technology company, it's also its DNA is basically software, and you can see that Tesla is very far ahead from any other car manufacturer for the software part. And the Volkswagen CEO, for example, said a couple of times already that he is jealous of the Tesla software capabilities, and therefore I hope that Volkswagen can figure it out. As more electric cars we will have on the street, as bigger the market, as more people buying, as more Teslas getting sold. A quick reminder to smash that like button for this video for the YouTube algorithm, and Ford just got rated to junk. Now, just a couple of days, there was the debt of Ford that was ranked junk or junk criteria, BA plus from BBB, and this is actually a rating that they didn't had since the last recession, since the financial crisis. This shows you how affected car manufacturers they are really affected by the whole situation, and maybe some of them will not make it if they don't get bailout money from the governments. Many companies are, and especially also the car industry, if you consider they invested billions of dollars in an old technology or in a technology that is slowly declining in sales, and they are very much behind on the electric part, and therefore I believe this is a very big crisis also for the traditional car manufacturers, and I read the one or the other car manufacturer will need some bailout money. So we know that if Elon Musk taking on some things, sometimes he can be quite quick, and was the same with the ventilator situation. He offered to bring on the production of ventilators, met with Medtronic CEO, and also he just delivered in the last couple of days 1,000 ventilators to New York, and people were very concerned because the government couldn't source these ventilators, and people were asking, hey, how the hell he did this? It's no way that they built 1,000 ventilators in just a matter of days. Now actually he said, Elon Musk, that he procured them in China and shipped them over by express, and this is obviously bad sign for the government. Hey, why the government in the US can do this if Elon Musk can? So, you know, in China, they had apparently an oversupply. So Elon Musk just bought them and shipped them over to US. Oh, Trump got really angry, especially on Twitter. He now used the Defense Production Act. This is the act in the US law that enables the US president to order companies to produce things that are needed in a kind of protection for the US citizens. And this is used usually to produce, you know, weapons, tanks, and this kind of things. But this time we need ventilators for the US government, and therefore he said, Ford and GM, get your horses and let's make ventilators. And he was quite, serious about it, and hopefully finally they produce the needed equipment for the people in need. So the latest model from Tesla, Model Y, is just being delivered more and more. We see more and more reviews, but I'm waiting for a very special review by Sandy Munro. He is a specialist for electric vehicles, for production. He can tell you everything in engineering about electric cars. So he is releasing his review on the 2nd of April. So the next Tesla Sundays episode will include this, obviously. Moreover, we see people in Europe getting days for delivery for their Model Y. So it seems that Tesla also shipped some Model Ys over to Europe. So more and more people will enjoy the new Model Y.